Hello and welcome to today's yoga session. For today, we need the strap or your lead rope or belt, whatever you're using, and just the usual cushion blanket for your comfort, and of course, something to drink. Cool. Let's make a start. Sorry, just turn that one off. It's right in my face. So come to an upright position with your feet hip wide apart. Position yourself in a very upright position. Lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, lengthen your neck. If you need to, just pull your shin down a little bit to stretch your neck. And then gently close your eyes to start into this yoga session with a few conscious, deep belly breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. While you're connecting to your breath, just notice how much more you are relaxing with every new breath that you take. How much more you're settling into your time now, leaving all the tasks and duties of the day behind you, just focusing on your breath. And with every new exhale that you do, you just let go a little bit more of that tension that you might have brought with you into the session. Freeing up space for the coming stretches and strengthening postures. Take another deep breath in. And then with your exhale, you gently open your eyes again, being ready to start your yoga session today. So let's make a start with a few arm and feet stretches. With your inhale, you're rising up with your arms above your head, palms together and on your tippy toes. And then with your exhale, you're coming through the middle, coming back down onto your feet, releasing the hands. Next inhale, rising up on the tippy toes, hands above your head, shoulders down. And with your exhale, coming through the middle, back onto your feet, releasing the hands. A few more times. Inhaling on the tippy toes. Keep your spine nice and long. Really feel the length that you're creating. And back on your feet. Two more times, rising up on the tippy toes. And then with your exhale, coming back down. And one more time, rising up, palms together above your head. And then coming through the middle, back onto your feet, releasing the hands. And then just curl your toes a little bit while you're standing. Hold them in that curled position. And then relax again. And again, curling the toes, just as a bit of a counter stretch from being on the tippy toes, and relaxing your toes again. And one more, curling the toes and relaxing. Keep your knees unlocked while you're standing. And then with your next exhale that you do, you're gently tilting your head forward. Give your neck a nice stretch. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Keep the knees unlocked, shoulders down. And with your next inhale, you gently lift your head back up. And then take a breath in. And with your exhale, you just slowly moving your head and looking sort of onto your right shoulder. Keep your shin parallel to the ground. Just looking to the right side. Stay nice and upright, shoulders relaxed, and just stay here for a couple of breaths. Your exhale coming through the middle. Just stay for one breath centered. And then with your next inhale, you're gently moving your head to the left side. Shin stays parallel to the floor. And just notice, is it the same amount of movement, or is it a bit harder or a bit freer? Are you able to move your head just to the same spot on this side, or maybe a little bit less, or a little bit further? Keep your shoulders down. And with your next exhale, bring your head back into the middle. And then we do a gentle tilting the head so you're looking upwards, if that feels okay with your neck. And please keep your mouth open if you do that. That put less strain onto your neck. And then just breathe through your nose, through your mouth. And just be very careful when you do that. And then come back into an upright position. And then just loosen your body up and just give yourself a good shake. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs. If you like, just fold forward. Wiggle your knees, wobble your arms gently. Do some nodding and some shaking with your head, just to loosen everything up. Be very careful with your neck. Just feel what your body can handle. And then coming up into an upright position again. And we're heading into chair pose. So with your inhale, you're rising up. With your exhale, coming through the middle. And then you're sitting down on an imaginary chair, tilting your pelvis so your spine is nice and long. Keep your knees parallel. Feel the pressure on your feet. Pull your belly button inwards for more strength. And just stay here for a few breaths. And then with your next inhale, you're straightening these legs, folding forward into a forward bend. Keep your knees slightly bent. And just folding forward, letting your chest rest on your thighs. Then your arms and shoulders hang down. If your arms are too long, just like mine, just grab your elbows so that your shoulders can drop even more. Sorry, I'm just tilting my screen. Take a few breaths. Feel your breath in your rib cage. Feel that stretch in your back from the breathing that you do. And with your next inhale, you bend your knees, slowly coming back to standing. Head comes last. Roll your shoulders if you need to. And then we do 2 more rounds of chair pose. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, coming through the middle, slowly sitting back down on that imaginary chair with your spine nice and long, your knees parallel. If you need more challenge, just sit down a little bit deeper and connect to your breath. Deep, slow breathing. And then folding forward into the forward bend. Staying here for 2 breaths. With your next inhale, you bend your knees, slowly coming back into a standing position. Head comes last. Some shoulder rolling. And one more time. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling through the middle. Sitting down. If you haven't tried yet, try to sink down a little bit deeper now. Feel the muscles in your thighs, feel your legs getting warm. And connect to your breath. And folding forward again. Knees stay slightly bent. Stay in that forward bend. Couple of breaths. And then come down onto all fours, onto the mat. With your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. And then we do a few rounds of cat-cow, nicely mobilizing the spine. Inhaling, belly is dropping, tailbone and head are rising. Exhaling, rounding your spine, pressing these hands in the mat, into the mat. Belly button goes inwards. And just do a few rounds in your own flow, creating space in your spine. And then with your next exhale, just come back into the neutral position or tabletop position. If you need to make any adjustments or if you need to relax your wrist, just gently circle them. And then when you're ready, you lift your right arm and your left leg in the air. Pull your belly button inwards. Keep your hip parallel to the mat, so no twisting. Belly button goes inwards. And again, you connect to your breath, feeling that core strengthening exercise. And with your exhale, back down. Adjusting and swapping sides. Left arm, right leg. If you want a bit more stretch, you can pull your toes towards you. to straighten that leg that is in the air just a little bit more. And get a bit of calf stretch if you like. And breathe. Belly button goes inwards. And back down onto the mat. And we're doing each side one more time. So when you're ready, right arm, left leg goes up in the air. And stay here for another breath. And with your exhale, coming back down onto the mat. Adjusting yourself if you need to, and swapping sides. Two more breaths. And with your exhale, coming down, widening your knees, coming into child's pose. So you move your bottom towards your heels. Stretch out the arms, let your forearms rest on the mat. Put your forehead onto the mat. And take a few deep belly breaths. Feel your ribcage expand. And with every new exhale, you're easing between your knees a little bit more. Just find some peace and stillness in this resting position. And then slowly make your way up again onto all fours and prepare yourself to come into down facing dog. And then after that, into plank pose. So when you're ready, you curl your toes under and pushing yourself up into down facing dog. Feel free to pedal your way in. And then find your spot with your feet about hip width apart. Lengthening that spine, keep your knees bent. If your heels are not on the ground, that doesn't matter. You can try and explore a little bit by straightening your legs a little bit more and just see how that feels. Keep your neck nice and loose. Just gently shake your head and nod a little bit to make sure you don't have any tension in your neck. Your hands pressing into the mat. Your knees stay parallel, so they're not sort of falling inwards like an X. And your tailbone is rising, and your spine is nice and long. And we're staying in down the facing dog. A few breaths. Just connect with your breath. And then we're heading into plank pose. Make sure you're not sort of falling down, that you have a funny dent in your back. So you have sort of a straight line all the way down from your head down to your feet. Your knees straight. Looking down onto the mat, belly button goes inwards. And with your next inhale, back into downward facing dog. You might need to adjust your arm position, or you can just sort of pop into downward facing dog. And again, staying here for a few breaths. And we're coming back into plank pose. Staying here for a few breaths. If you need to in between, you can always come onto all fours, have a bit of a break, and then head back in, either into plank, or if we're back into downward facing dog, then just join in then. Another deep breath in plank pose. And we're heading back into downward facing dog one more time. And into plank. And with your next exhale, come back onto all fours. And head back into child's pose, just for a short break. Deep breathing. Have your knees nice and wide so you can easily fit in between your knees. With every exhale, just relax a little bit more into this position. Notice your heartbeat. And maybe you notice the more you're sort of relaxing into this position, the more your heartbeat starts to slow down again. Staying here for a couple more breaths. And then bring yourself up. And then just head into a kneeling position. Nice and upright, sitting on your heels. If that is a bit too much, feel free to put a cushion between your heels and your bum, or between the back of your thighs and your calves so that you're a little bit, that the angle in your knees is a bit wider. Otherwise, just sit on your knees with your feet together, your hands on your thighs, long spine, long neck. Just take a few breaths into your belly. And your shoulders drop down. And then fold your hands behind your back. Or grab your elbows if you need a bit more stretch around your chest and shoulders. Otherwise, just fold your hands behind your back. Let your arms hang down. Look up to the ceiling as far as your neck allows. And then breathe into your chest this time. Breathe into your chest so you can feel your whole chest expanding. And at the same time, you're gently pulling your hands or your arms down towards the mat. So your shoulder blades are squeezing together. And you really feel how much space you are creating in your chest region. Make sure your spine stays nice and long, that you're not sort of doing what I've just done, a lot of arching in your lower back. Try to keep your back nice and long and just pulling your arms down. You might need to tilt your pelvis to lengthen your lower back when you do that. And just a couple more breaths. And then gently release your hands, bring them back onto your thighs. Just bring your head down onto your chest. Stretching your neck a little bit. And then loosen up this position and lay down on your back. Have everything ready that you need to be comfortable on your back because we're not heading up again. Doing a few stretches here, and then we're heading into the final relaxation. So have your strap handy and laying down on your back with your knees bent for a start. Just let them fall inwards. Spread out your arms as wide as it is comfortable. And then just do some gentle pelvic tilting. You just gently mobilize your back so that you can easily let go. Maybe swing your knees from side to side if you feel your back is a bit tensed up. And connect to your breathing and just help your body to ease into this new position. So you have good contact with your back to the mat on each side of your spine, that there's no hollow bits. If there are, either try to bring your breath into these tensed areas or just do some gentle mobilizing, like swinging your knees from side to side, or do some gentle pelvic tilting to lengthen your lower back. You can also jiggle your upper body a little bit from side to side. Just making sure that you're in a really good position. Just a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, you grab your strap, find the right length, bring your right leg up, bring your strap over your foot, just behind your toes. Adjust the length so that your lower arms, your upper arms can stay on the mat. Make sure your leg is not falling inwards or outwards, so it stays in a nice straight line of your hip. And then make sure your foot is nicely supported and can't slip out of that strap. And then gently pull that leg closer to you with your knees still bent. And the other leg can either stay bent, or you can stretch that leg out if you prefer, or you can just explore both options. So you're bringing that right leg towards you, just so that you really feel that stretch in your hamstrings and in the back of your thighs. And when you have that point, start to gently straighten that leg a little bit more. And then stay in that stretch for a few breaths. Make sure your shoulders stay relaxed, your neck stays long, no funny arching. And another deep breath. And then bend the knee, release your foot, bring that leg back down onto the mat, and notice the length difference to the other leg. Just give yourself a moment to adjust. And then we're swapping sides. So you bring that left foot up, throw that strap over the foot, adjust your length. Make sure your leg's not falling inwards or outwards. And then when you're ready, you're gently pulling that leg with your knees still bent, closer to you, until you have that point where you start to notice a stretch. And then you can gently straighten that leg to intensify that stretch. And then hold it there for a few breaths again. And just observe if you notice any difference compared to the other leg. Difference in sensations, difference in the amount of tension that you can feel. And also a difference how much you can pull that leg towards you to get that stretch. Maybe it's the same amount, or maybe it's less, or even more than the other leg. And then just one more breath before you release that foot and bring that leg back down onto the mat. Noticing how much space you have created in your legs. And then just put the strap aside for a moment. And then bring your legs towards you, put your feet together, grab your feet into baby pose. And then just rock from side to side with your knees wide open. With the soles of your feet together, if that works. And you're holding onto your feet and just rocking from side to side, opening up that hip. If you want a bit more rounding or curling, you can lift up your head. So you're curling up a bit more. And keep rocking from side to side, opening up these hips. And then coming to a still point, putting the feet back down onto the mat. And then you bring your right foot on your left knee so that your ankle rests sort of on the knee. And you're grabbing that left leg and either grab the knee or on the back of your thigh, and you're pulling that left leg towards you. So you feel a nice stretch around the groin area and in the back of your thighs of your right leg. And just hold that stretch for a few breaths. Keep your neck nice and long. If you need to, just tilt your shin a bit closer towards your chest. And then release that position. Bring your feet back onto the mat. Adjust yourself, adjust your position if you need to, and then bring that other foot on top of the right leg. Let your knee just sort of drop outwards, and then bring that right leg towards you. And gently pull that knee towards you, that right knee. Stay in this position again for a few breaths. One more deep inhale. And then with the exhale, you release that leg. And you bring both legs back onto the mat. Stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms, and getting ready for the final relaxation. Grab a cushion, grab a blanket. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. Laying on your back. If you need to make any adjustments that you need with your shoulders, with your hips. If it feels more comfortable, just bend your knees and put your feet on the mat for that final relaxation. Whatever is comfortable for you. And then when you're all nicely wrapped up, then start to relax and gently close your eyes. Start your final relaxation today by connecting with your breathing. Noticing your breath in your chest and belly, rising and dropping. with every new breath that you take. And with every new exhale that you do, you're relaxing even deeper into your mat, letting go. Relaxing even more, easing even deeper into the mat. You're able to fully let go and let your body ease into the mat where it's just safe and comfortable. No need to hold on to any more tension. This is the time to fully relax, fully let go. While you're easing even more into the mat, I would like you to bring your attention into your feet. And just checking in with your feet. Notice any sensations. Maybe you can feel the blood flow. Maybe your feet are really present now after all you've done in this session. Whatever there is, just observe. And then you're moving further up with your observation through your calves and shins, into your knees. Notice if there's any noticeable differences between the right and left side. And don't try to change anything, just observe what state your body is in this moment. And then you move further up into your thighs, the back of your thighs and the front of your thighs. And then into your buttocks. You notice the contact points with the mat. Maybe you can feel a bit of pressure. Your buttocks being pushed into the mat. And then observe your pelvis and belly region. Maybe you can notice some sounds from your digestive system. Maybe you can feel your belly rising and dropping with every breath that you take. Just observe what is happening in this moment. And then you're moving into your chest region. Bring your attention into your heartbeat. Maybe you can feel your heart beating. And maybe you can also notice your chest dropping and rising with your breathing, depending how you're breathing. It might be more or less noticeable. And then you move your awareness into your back, starting with the lower back, then the middle back, and the upper back with your shoulder blades. Feel the contact points with the mat. Observe if there's any differences that you can notice on the right side of your spine compared to the left side of your spine. Are the contact points evenly, or are there any differences? Just observe. And then move into your shoulders and all the way down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists, and then into your hands and fingers. Feel your arms resting on the floor, maybe with your palms up or your palms down. Observe if your arms have the same distance to your body. And observe if there's any differences in sensations in your right arm compared to your left arm, or the right shoulder compared to the left shoulder. And then you're moving all the way up again through your arms, into your shoulders, and then through your neck and throat, into your head and face. Notice your head either resting on a pillow or resting on the mat. Feel the contact to the mat or the cushion. And then bring your awareness into your face. Notice your eyes resting, comfortable in their sockets. Notice how relaxed your cheeks are. And then be aware of your jaw. If your jaw feels nice and relaxed, or if you notice that there's still a little bit of tension in there, then just feel free to gently move your jaw from side to side, just to let that tension melt away and free up your jaw. And then just observe your whole body all the way from your toes up to the top of your head. And just feel connected to every single part of your body, every single cell of your body. Notice how present your body is to you now. Notice how much awareness you have for yourself. And also notice how calm and at ease your mind is in this moment. And then you start to slowly coming back into the here and now. So you start to take a deep breath in and out. And then you gently start to wiggle your toes and fingers, feet and hands. You become more awake and aware of all the sounds around you, of my voice. You're slowly waking up, becoming fully alert, fully refreshed. With your next breath in, just make your movements even bigger. Feel free to stretch your arms and stretch your legs. Maybe you do a big yawn and then take another deep breath in and gently open your eyes, being fully back in the room, in the here and now, feeling refreshed and mobilized and stretched. And then when you're ready, come into a seated position, nice and slow. Again, make a few more movements and stretches to fully wake yourself up again. And then just stay in this seated position before you finally standing up to continue with your day or enjoy the rest of the evening. Take another deep breath in. Become fully awake and fully aware of the here and now. being back in the room. And I thank you for joining me in the session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next time. Thank you very much. Till next time.